Yep. Okay, I think that was a proof of concept. I think he died fast. I think that went well. So I hit him until I get the bell, drop the bell, and then I hold down Elemental Invocation, and yeah. Howdy, my dudes. Random Fight Fan here. And I got another kind of ridiculous tech update, which is not overly new. It's Frostwall with Trample Toes. But I, unfortunately, was a little late to the party on this one. However, I will also say that this was not my idea, of course. It came initially introduced to me by a lovely member on the Discord, and he has another ridiculously crazy powerful character, and I will show you the way that he puts it together because he and I put it together in two different ways. But first, obviously, I'm going to explain how it works and how I myself have done my method of putting it together because I quite like this. So first things first, how it works is Trample Toes deals 35% of overkill damage to enemies within 2 meters, and it works when you're breaking down frost walls. I will say, I think this will be either nerfed or removed come 2.0 when that patch comes out. However, if it is not, this is something that is so much damage. It is literally unlimited damage, as you saw at the start of the video there. Over 200 million. I think it's like 240 million in 1/100th of a second. So you don't need really any damage scaling. You just need to work with how Trample Toes works and breaking Frostwall. But now to put this together, you can see how I have a level 9 Frostwall. You want that. You want it as low level as possible because it's based on the overkill damage. So as you can see here, it's got kitty. It's got the maximum life of Frostwall at 831. And we're going to do everything we can to reduce it and nuke it. And when that pops, as you can see, Frostwall, it has multiple sections. When you break one, it breaks all of them with the overkill damage, and it cascades, constantly increasing the damage. So what we're going to do there is first we're going to take Icicle and bring it from 831 life down to 416. It's pretty nice. You can probably bring it down if you want to on the passive tree, but it's not really worth it. As you can see, this is already with infinite damage. There are multiple ways to go about this. Some spells here, Spell Cascade, Fortress, and Spell Echo, all multicast a spell, and you're going to be counting on this. And the first one that is completely useless is Spell Echo. I need to show this off. I don't want anyone using Spell Echo because, as you can see on the cast, it just breaks the first one and then destroys it. And so even if you have something like Spell Cascade in there, it breaks the first one, and Spell Cascade has 3. You might think that and say, oh look, you got 3, that's great. But without Spell Echo, you're going to have 3 anyways. Spell Echo is useless. The other option is Fortress instead of Spell Echo or Spell Cascade, and it does this nice circular barrier around, and it's kind of nice with Spell Cascade as well. As you can see, it now creates 2. However, as you can see, it's just 2, not 3. It's nice, but unfortunately, it breaks it. And also when you're running around in maps and you're going around and you have it auto casting with whatever your auto cast ability is, you can sometimes get hiccuped by the fortress, and it's very obnoxious and annoying. So I personally like the feeling of it with just Spell Cascade. So as you're going around, it goes like that, and you're just running around, you go through the map, you're popping it, you're in a good shape, you're going nuts. But obviously you're not wanting to auto cast all the time, and it actually feels pretty bad to auto cast. So what you're going to do is pop it all in here with, I personally love Elemental Invocation. I can have it auto casting if I wanted to. I was originally holding it on this button on M4 and just holding the button down for bosses. You can have it in mapping. You can even have it with Profane Ritual if you wanted to auto cast getting power charges. It's really good tech. But as you can see by the earlier video there, it does everything. It's to the point where you don't even really need to worry about your gear. You don't need the best stuff. You can have straight up trash and it'll still nuke bosses like crazy. And this is the setup I was going with, and I kind of felt bad. It kind of made me sad that in 1/100th of a second I could take out 265 million damage zest in such a small amount of time. But as you can see, it works well, and I will admit that Elemental Invocation technically would be a little less damage than the way that Vey has his with Cast on Crit, but when you're already absolutely annihilating the highest level of content in the game in 1/100th of a second, you don't need to bring your potential higher damage up, because Elemental Invocation, when you're using it with other things, helps your Bell with Rising Tempest, and it feels really nice to every once in a while, if you're gonna cast it manually, have a big cascade of frost walls and everything going around, and it just works great for mapping. Plus, it only costs 60 spirit instead of 90 like cast on critical. It allows for a more open build, but that is the difference between mine and Vey's. And now I'd like to show you Vey's setup for it. So for Vey's setup, he uses cast on critical using the frost wall, and he also likes fortress. He doesn't seem to mind if it goes around him, as well as spell cascade. I do not think this is necessary at all. I think just spell cascade is better than fortress, but with him having cast on critical, he does not need impetus for 40% increased generation. You don't need it with Elemental Invocation either, but it just makes it feel a little smoother and easier when I put in Profane Ritual and the like. But as it stands, with his energy per power of enemy critically hit, the way that his setup works, one crit is one cast, so it literally infinite loops. Same thing with Elemental Invocation, except for Elemental Invocation could technically have a top end if you can't proc ailments anymore, whereas cast and critical will just keep on going as long as you have high enough crit chance. This just will kill the boss. Same thing, it's ridiculously powerful, and the way he has it set up, because he's not using as many spirit for the dual charge tech, he just runs with resonance. This here works incredibly well, and you don't need to worry about anything. It is a ridiculously good setup, and I thank you again, Vey, for bringing this to our attention. Initially, we saw this with Stormweavers and the Spark build blowing absolutely everything up. But there is one major difference between the Monk using this tech versus Stormweavers, and, well, there is a Stormweaver tech that abuses shock magnitude, and it can one-shot bosses in a second as well. However, that tech is very much so not safe. It has low health and low survivability, whereas the big difference between this one here is I still have 9,000 energy shield that I double up to 18,000. It's incredibly safe. Incredibly safe. Yes, my gear is nutty, like absolutely nutty. I corrupted it and everything to make it even better just by getting, well, not everything was lucky, but I definitely got a lot of energy shield. And if I were to say, let's just eyeball taking it off, that's still nearly 5,000 energy shield. It is an incredibly safe version of the build that will clear literally everything in the game with 0 difficulty. If this does not get patched out in 2.02, this will be the build that carries everything, because it's surprisingly easy to get into with the overkill damage from Trample Toe and the ease of access of getting all of the Frostwall casts. All you need is that and a little bit of damage to prop the walls, making sure your Frostwalls are only level 9, and you are going to beat everything in the game. There's pretty much nothing else to say about it. It is absolutely broken and disgusting right now. If this does not get patched and fixed or completely removed from the game, it essentially nullifies any other build ideas. This here is just so obscenely powerful for so little investment that you're punished to not do it. This here is what you should be doing come 2.02 if it does not get patched out. It will carry you through everything, and it will be how people get rich on day one, essentially. Anyways, that's all I have to say about that. I Hope you guys got some good information out of this. If you liked it, like the video. If you didn't, don't. Either way, I appreciate you all for stopping by, and yeah, have a great day, folks.